Yep. Hey. Hey there, Machas. We're now live. So, yeah, today we're going to talk about how the whole system of playing pro basketball works in India. Because this is something a lot of people who want to play pro basketball just don't know. It's something I myself didn't know back when I started playing for the first time. First time, I mean, like, seriously, first. So, yeah, and I mean, I've got a few DMs about it as well. So today we're going to talk about that. I mean, every athlete you go ask them or something, the one thing they're all going to tell you is hard work, okay? So, first off, I'd like to start with that. Yes, hard work is definitely important, but I think that's no secret, and every single person knows that you need to work hard, right? The thing is how you should go about working hard and what exactly are the sacrifices you will need to make. Because listen, at the end of the day, everything is hard work. Making a YouTube video is hard work. Going to a normal job is hard work. And of course, playing professional basketball is hard work. Like, take today, for instance, okay? Right before this, there was a huge issue with the power, the internet, everything went down. And then, luckily, it came back at about 5 minutes ago. And here we are. So, let's start off. So, we're going to talk firstly about the process of how you go about it in India specifically, because I'm not really sure about other countries. And next up, we're going to talk about what are the possible difficulties you might face on your journey. And then, if you have any questions, I'll take your questions. So, yeah, let's start. First off, there's a process. Okay, most people who play basketball like play in a park or you play for your school team or a college team or some, not really college, but school, I mean. The thing is, if you want to make it big or something, you have to play for one of these clubs. And a club which is registered under KSBBA or BFI, whichever one, okay? Basically both, I think. They're pretty much the same thing in terms of clubs registering. Because a lot of clubs aren't registered. These are basically academies, so you have to go to a proper club which is registered. And then once you start playing for the club, you play club districts, which only registered clubs can play. And then when you're at these district level tournaments, then you play really well here. You could get selected to play at the state level. And for this, okay, you want to do this, you got to select a. Oh, wait. Okay, let's continue. Where was I? Playing districts, right? So, yeah. Um, when you playing for a club, when you're choosing a club, you shouldn't straight away as a beginner go to one of the really big clubs because then you'll never get to play. You start off with a small club, and then once you do good there, once you kind of know how to play properly and all that, and once you have a kind of reputation for yourself, then you move to a bigger club. Unless you're like what? Unless you're a small kid or something, under 10 years old, then you can go straight away to a big club. But if you're anything above that, I'd suggest you start at a smaller club, earn a reputation, then shift to one of these bigger clubs which actually win. So that when you're on the team, you're probably starting, getting playing time, all that. That's how then you make it to state. Then once you get into state, you play well there. The next level you go to is the nationals. And then once you play well at that level, there are multiple, choices for you to go from there, depending on your age again. I think if you're under the age of 16 or under the age of 18, I'm not sure, you could try out for the NBA Academy India. And then from there, a lot of people get scholarships to go to schools in the US or colleges in the US. People like the Sanjana Ramesh and Princepal Singh also, I think, who is now playing with the Sacramento Kings, I guess. And he actually won the Summer League, right? The first Indian. Why am I so confused about this? Anyway, other than that, if you're not really getting into the NBA Academy or something, another thing you could do is get into colleges which are known for sports on a sports quota. And these people only look at like national and above for giving you sports quota. And then from there, you can play at a high level inter university. And after that, you could go for a government job also under sports quota. And from there, you will be playing the senior nationals, which is, I think, the highest 5-on-5 league in our country, since there isn't really a pro 5v5 league yet. Then what else? And you do well at this stage, then you could get called for the India team camp. And from there, they pick the national team. All right? And more for a lot of people, this is the goal, national team. But after that, there's more you can do. Like once you're on the Indian team and you're actually a regular playing there, starting and all that, or at least getting playing time. Next, you can approach scouts and agents in foreign countries to actually play a professional league, which I think Gina Sakaria or someone. Gina Sakaria, I don't know if she still plays, but she was on the Ringwood Hawks or something. And then once you earn a reputation at the highest overseas leagues, or even, US colleges or something, if you go via the NBA Academy, you're good enough from there, then you can make it into the NBA or WNBA, because they only look at the highest level of stuff. I don't think they'll be here looking at, FIBA Asia Cup and things like that, really. Anyway, then this is about the 5-on-5 side of things, okay? There's another way you can go about it, which is 3-on-3 as well, which is a much shorter, simpler process, because I just think it's because it's a newer sport or something. So luckily, at least in 3-on-3, there is a professional league in India. There's the 3x3BL. They've finished 2 seasons. 2 seasons for the men, 1 for the women's. And they hold tryouts. So like they hold it in many cities. So you can go try out anywhere near you. You're good enough, you'll get selected. It's as simple as that. It's not some huge, long process like 5-on-5. So that's a good thing. And once you make it to the 3BL, from there, they'll select a top team to go represent India, or I shouldn't really say India, a city or a franchise in a world tour. And then from here, you don't know, you could get selected to the Indian team or something. Since they're now with BFI, I'm not sure about the India team part yet, because the ones who've really gone on to the challengers and all that are NRIs. And I don't think NRIs are allowed on an Indian team. Inderveer and Bikramjeet and all those people. I don't know, they're apparently not allowed. So yeah, that's the how you go about playing professional. Now, of course, we need to talk about the challenges and what exactly is so hard about making it to this level. Because trust me, it is hard. And not exactly in the way you just expect. It's not just about, practicing and working out in the gym and all that. That is the easiest of the hard work which you need to do, the easiest of the hard work and sacrifices. There's a lot more. Firstly, especially 5-on-5, with so many steps in the process, there's a chance to go wrong at every single step. So that's a lot of chances and a lot of failing. Most people who made it have failed at least 2-3 times. And those who haven't failed, it's probably because they have connections or they're really tall. The thing is, you will fail for sometimes reasons you really don't understand at all, okay? If it's a lack of skill, at least you'll understand that you can go home and get better and come back. But other times, you just wouldn't understand why you couldn't make it. And in such cases, sometimes you'll fail so hard and fail for no reason at all that you'll want to go home and rethink your life. And here's the part, okay? Here's the tough part. Most people will go home, rethink their life, and then decide that they don't want to play professional basketball anymore. And then there are people who will try 2-3 more times after failing for no reason. And then these are the people who usually make it. Now let's go into some of these reasons for which you might fail, okay? All of them are a big possibility. First off, the question. Oh. Prabhu. Okay, damn. I saw your video on YouTube and then saw you on Chirag's story. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Okay, so where was I? First thing, one of the questions somebody DM'd me was, how does age matter and how much it does matter? First off, yeah, it does matter, but it's not like something you can't overcome, of course. Usually, if people are playing since before the age of 10, very few people start playing seriously at that age. So everyone who's been playing from that age, the coaches know them well, okay? And when a coach knows you well, obviously they'll pick you over somebody they don't know. That's just human nature. So that way, age does matter. But then again, if you're really good or really tall or you have connections, then it doesn't matter as much. Next, of course, now coming up next is height. Now, if you're abnormally tall, even if you don't want to play basketball, coaches will come behind you. And if you're short, you actually need to show them that you have skill. Trust me, I've seen this happen with like a whole bunch of people. Because they just want like the tall ones. Because they know that even if they don't have skill, you can teach them like 1 or 2 things. You can teach them to use their height, and it's a big advantage in basketball. Now, while it is an advantage, it's not the only thing. You know, even as a short player, you can make it. It's just going to be a lot harder. Then, of course, we've got to talk about politics. The one thing a lot, like you ask anybody, what's the problem in Indian sports? I think the first thing a lot of people will say is politics and age fraud. Age fraud where people fake their birth certificates so that a 20-year-old will play as a 16-year-old. Who is this? Shusui. Do I play pro basketball? Oh no, I don't. See, at one point, I myself was trying for this. And then when I got to know the entire complex process of it, what you need to do, and at the end, the kind of results you would get playing pro basketball. And especially for me, since I don't have any connections, I'm short and I started at a really late age. Now, that's 3 reasons why I'll have to do a lot more than other people if I wanted to make it to the pros. So I decided to just take that hard work and put it somewhere else when I finally got to know what it takes. So no, I don't play pro basketball. 3x3 BL, I might just, go consider trying out and see where that takes me. I don't know. We'll see about that when they announce the tryout dates and all. Okay, so yeah, back to what I was saying. Politics and age fraud. Of all the reasons on this list, this is the biggest reason to go home and rethink your life, as I've been saying. Oh, how tall am I? I'm 5'5". So yeah, but politics, that again has to do with you knowing people. There's also people who like bribe and get into camps. But the thing is, even if you do have politics on your side or if you have connections or something, yeah, you're lucky for that. You're going to avoid a lot of failures. But at the end of the day, you need to back it up with skill. Otherwise, you are going to get cut at the last moment. And now, if you don't have politics on your side, you'll have to wait for the person who has bribed their way in or done whatever or just knows people. You'll have to wait for them to realize that this person doesn't have skill and then pick you instead. So, which is going to be some time, and you'll have to stick around and, wait. Then, of course, for most, unless you're super fortunate, a lot of us have parents who don't exactly encourage this kind of a dream. And I can see why they would say that. Uh, because as a professional basketball player here in India, it's not like you get paid a ton of money. It's not like a lot of people watch the games like it's cricket. And it's not like they're doing an excellent job marketing the sport either. They basically do damn near nothing. And there is no pro 5v5 league either. 3x3 is there, at least. I just hope that league has a lot of promise. It looks promising. It's fun to watch. They're going to malls and all that. We hope that does well. But now you can see the reason my parents wouldn't exactly support it. They don't have unless they are into sports themselves, or they just, of course, they all love you and stuff and will support you if you get successful. But most parents, they'll just put themselves in your place and think it's a stupid idea. And then they'll tell you so. So, yeah. Wait, question. How old am I? I'm 21. And I think when I first started playing basketball, I was 16. I guess that's not too old also. But compared to the standards at which most people start, they start when they're like 5, 6 years old, maybe max 12, 13. By 16, that's like 11th grade. So, yeah, that is there. Wait. And now, yeah, we were talking about parents, right? Yeah, that's about parents. In a lot of cases, it's just that if you want their support, you'll have to earn it with success. You'll have to earn it by actually making it somewhere in basketball. If not, you're fortunate, man. And then there are coaches. Coaches are like one of the most annoying things here, okay, in this whole pro basketball system. A lot of coaches want you to follow their orders exactly. They don't let you think out of the box, nothing. They tell you to do one thing, you better do that. You don't do that, you're benched. Like, let's say, even if you don't follow their orders, but make a good play, which is going to win you the match. So, a lot of coaches are like that, unfortunately. And unless you're going to suck up to them, unfortunately, you shall fail. Now, you find a good coach somewhere who isn't like this, again, consider yourself lucky. A lot of coaches are, in fact, a lot of players too. If you meet a lot of state and national players versus like street ballers, A state or national player, you can look at their face and tell 3 to 4 moves ahead what exactly they're going to do. With a street baller, it's a bit more unpredictable. You actually got to try playing proper defense on them. So yeah, where were we? I guess that's just the thing. That's why a lot of them, that just shows you what kind of players do make it to that level out here. And even if you, let's say, look at the Indian team or something, you can see, like, of course, a few players who can remain calm, composed, and make the right plays, right? A lot of other players pre-plan their moves. Then again, just like if I can look at their face and tell, imagine even like these international players can obviously do so. And they keep getting stopped. You saw how many, if you watched the FIBA Asia Cup, you would have seen how many turnovers they were. And that's because people here are just, coaches here just want you to be so predictable and follow orders perfectly. This one more big reason I do not want to try going pro here. Anyway, so next up. Yeah. So these are just some of the obstacles you'll run into, okay? I might have made it sound really bad. I don't know if I did. But yeah, this is not to discourage you from trying, but more so that you know what is the worst case scenario that can happen and be prepared for it. Like Murphy says, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So just don't get shocked when something like this happens. And then, of course, the hard work, the sacrifice, it doesn't end once you just make the team, right? Obviously. You got to keep working on your game, all that, even after you make it, so that you stay there. Otherwise, like the ones who got in due to politics, you too are going to get dropped off. And hard work. Working on skills is one thing. I'm sure a lot of us have fun working on skills and this and that. And we don't find it as hard to just do that. That's going to be fine. We're going to do that anyway, right? For a lot of us. Of course, going to the gym might be something different, which I don't know how many of us like it. I think some players do, some don't. Someone like me, I definitely don't, which is why I don't do it, because I don't want to play pro anyway. But you know what's harder? Sitting on the bench and watching your team get their score tripled by the opponent. Now that is hard. Trust me, I've seen this happen in college where, again, we've had one of these coaches who's very narrow-minded. So yeah, we were on the bench. Our team had a nice 10-point lead. And then this guy, he didn't make a single substitution. The whole team was tired. And then we blew it and lost that game. That's got to be the worst feeling you can have on the court, I guess. Apart from getting injured, of course. Which is what we come to next. Injuries. A lot of people tend to get injured. And especially you ever wonder why it's like a lot of serious basketball players who get injured and just the ones who play for fun usually aren't getting injured. Maybe one thing is, of course, about how intensely you play. Another thing is a lot of players just go to the gym and they don't know what the hell they're doing there, okay? And then even their trainer doesn't know. The trainer is used to usually training people who want to get ripped, who want to lose weight, all that stuff. And they'll train you the same way, which will lead to a few problems on the court. Firstly, it's going to ruin some of your biomechanics, which will lead to you getting hurt more easily. And second of all, if you're getting stronger and you don't know how to control your own strength, that same strength is going to come back to injure you when you're on the court, because you can generate that much force, but you can't control it. And then the next thing you know is you're out with a torn ACL or something. It's terrible. It's sad just how many of my friends I've seen, especially the ones who lift and all that, who have got injured due to this very same thing. And I mean, not always serious injury, but these people, I don't, they get sprained, this, that also more. And then the people who don't just are usually healthy, they don't get injured as much. It's ironic, isn't it? Like going to the gym is meant to prevent injury, not cause it. And of course, one more final thing. What you got to understand is when you're on this kind of a professional team, you're going for camps, for tournaments for a long time, you need to leave your family and friends behind and go, which could be hard, but isn't the hardest thing in the world either. I think the worst is probably injury by far. Anyway, so this is again just to let you all know what can happen. And, I mean, think about this. Don't let it discourage you. I mean, think about it logically, okay? And then depends, okay, whether it discourages you, whether it doesn't. But just one thing, don't be surprised when things go wrong. All right. So I think that is about the end of everything I had to say. Let's see, question and answers. Okay, if any of you guys have anything to ask, you can leave it in the comments. Okay, Lohit Raj, how do I start dunking? I'm 5'10". All right, okay. So of course, you have like a ton of programs, a ton of things on vertical jump. So I think a lot of them work probably. I've never tried any of that myself. See, I'm 5'5". And I'm a girl, so I don't think I'll be dunking without getting some high ground, or something like that. So yeah, there are plenty of ways to increase your vertical. You can do any of that, I guess. And then in the beginning, what I've seen helps a lot of people is first just try to touch the rim. Once you do that, start dunking tennis balls, then footballs, and then basketballs, so that you get your mechanics, everything down right. And then once you're comfortable with all that, you gradually start trying to dunk in game. Seriously, it's like I myself don't train specifically for vertical jump, so I don't know a lot about it. But yeah, that's about it. Any other questions? Wait, and my drive-in sucks. Like I'm just not able to, and I end. Oh, damn. The power's gone. Okay, just a minute. I'll just answer this right here. Wait, like I'm just not able to, and I end my taking hook shots. How are you so good at it? The first thing with that is you got to practice. And you just got to try in game. I think a lot of people, the problem is they overthink things too much. If you want to drive in, just go do it. And don't be afraid to miss. Start off in pickup games. And a hook shot is sometimes a good shot to take, depending on the situation. Otherwise, I don't know, you should, if not directly in a game, if that is a bit too scary for you, if you have a partner to train with or something, or just play one-on-one with, you say you start off by working on just the one thing you want to work on. Let's say you want to work on a floater or just a normal layup, or just, in general, being creative with the finishing. You tell that person that you are going to score a layup on them and ask them to play defense, and then you just work on that. All right. Okay, guys. I'm really sorry that we've got another problem with the power right here. So I'm going to end the stream. You got anything else to ask? Do leave it in the comments. I'll answer it right here. Goodbye.